let's get further understanding into this new development, and then also we'll try to break it down why we have to pay more for water. We have been joined in studio by Kwame Ejapong Ntra. He is the public relations of sachet and packaged water association, okay, of sachet water producers, PRO of the National Association of the Sachet and Packaged Water Producers in Ghana, and he's here to help us understand the need for an increment and the fact that there is a probability they might come back with a further increase if the Public Utility Regulatory Commission does not do something about it. Good morning, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
A lot of people have expressed surprise at the reason why sachet water would have to go up again in the last few months. The question though is, can you help us understand why the need for an increment? We know that utility tariffs have gone up, petroleum levy have gone up. Why the need for water to also go up, sachet for that matter?
Well, thank you very much. Let me start off by giving you a problem that the one who brought sugar cane to the house, he brought flies. Simply put, or if you want to understand it, we were doing our work, and until somewhere in December when we all heard that PURC was going to go up as far as the tariffs are concerned. Initially, they came up with a figure of 67.2% for water and then 59.2% for electricity. In fact, that is what's on the table. That's what everybody knows about. We previously were also in the same category as the industrial producers. We were in the same category as people who produce beer and hard liquor and all those products. So we're thinking that the figure won't be too high, to be something manageable. Of course, PURC also did not consult us. They did not consult us. In fact, I have a paper here, press release from PURC, and where they say this was released on the 14th of December 2015. And PURC says that as mandated by law and the Commissioner's decision-making process, extensive stakeholder consultations were held to solicit views and gather inputs for the final determination of an adjustment in tariffs. It goes on to say that subsequent to a careful investigation of the proposal submitted by the utility service providers, and in considering the inputs of and concerns of consumers and key stakeholders who were consulted, the Commission has approved utility tariff increases for various consumer categories. So this, and
you are not part of the.
We have never been consulted. I am the PRO. I'm a national executive member. It was news to us when we read this about a week and a half ago when we went to PURC, because we got wind of the fact that we had been removed from the category of industry and we have been placed on our own, category. We're in a different category altogether. So you can see that they have domestic, commercial, industrial, public institutions and government premises, public standpipe, special commercial, this is bottling, they are on their own. Then sachet water producers on their own.
So they even separated sachet water from packaged water?
Yes.
Bottled water?
Yes, they are on their own and we are also on our own. So if PURC thought that we should be on our own in a different category, it amazes us that when they were consulting people, they decided that we were immaterial and that they did not see the need to consult us. In fact, it's something that we cannot understand. But well, it happened, and I'm saying authority that we have never been consulted. The bottled water people were also not
previously
consulted.
Under what category were you, and were you part of consultations?
Well, we were with the industrial commercial, some the commercial are for chop bar owners and those small ones, but the industrial ones who were in the industrial category. You see, so when they said that they were going for consultation, we did not know that they have moved us into a different category. We thought that if they consulted the industries, the industry, maybe would have been a consultation for us, on our behalf. Little did we know that, no, we're being shortchanged, you see. So when this new rate came, we had some information from an insider at the Ghana Water Company that, no, you are on a different rate, and that you are nowhere near the 67.2, that the rate had moved to, for, I'm talking about sachet water, 195%. And then for bottled water, 400%.
195% for sachet.
For sachet, 95%. 195.
95%.
Yes, 195 for sachet, and then 400 approximately for bottled water. So we thought it was, it couldn't be true. So we rushed to PURC, and they confirmed by giving us what I'm holding in my hands, and then also their tariff rates, which I have here. They confirmed this to us. So when they confirmed it, we wanted to have some meeting with them. They said no, they couldn't meet with us. We should go and write a letter and bring it for them to react. This back and forth matter. Meanwhile, it had been gazetted and we were to pay. So we decided that no, we couldn't go through all this long before we knew what our businesses would be collapsing. So that accounts for why we are so, in fact, to some extent, we are even angry with PURC. Why should we be angry? We are angry because if you look at the new tariffs, sachet water 195% increase, bottled water 400% increase, and then let me make this point: the people who are producing, who are now in the industrial, they are those producing alcohol, beer, and all the others. Their rate is 165% approximately, lower than sachet water and bottled water. And we can't believe that anybody will sell water to sachet water producers and then bottled water producers at a higher rate than alcohol, which we are saying, we all know, is destroying our youth. Because if you are not even up to 18 years, you are not allowed to buy it. And if you are an adult, they even warn you that drink responsibly. So how on earth would anybody decide that the water that they are going to use to produce the alcohol, which is dangerous,
should be cheaper than
water, which is health? Okay,
help me understand these percentages you mentioned: 195%, 400 for bottled, 165 for alcohol producers. Is that what you expected? Is that the increment in what you used to pay? The percentages you've given me, what does it mean?
The percentage that I've given you, for example, in real figures, we were paying 3 cedis 80 pesos per cubic meter. For every 1,000 liters, we were paying 3 cedis 80 pesos.
Okay.
We and commercial and industrial was also paying the same rate. Now, industrial has been moved from 3.8 to 10.07. 10.8 to 3.8 to 10.07. Sachet water has been moved from 3.8, same 3.8 to 11.21. That's why they are at 165% and we are at 195%. Now for the special commercial, that is bottling, they have moved from 10.2 thereabout to 50.78.
Wow.
50.78, 50 cedi 78 pesos per cubic meter. You see,
400% increase.
400%. You see, there is something that I noticed this morning. When I looked at the PURC press release, they gave us some figures, and it's interesting. They say that the proposals that the water companies and the Ghana Water Company and the electricity company, what they brought, the tariffs that the increment that they wanted. The proposals were a request for an upward adjustment in electricity and water tariffs, where the electric utilities requested for an average increase of 128.6%. That was electricity. And the Ghana Water Company requested for 400.2 increase. That's what they wanted. It appears the 400 worked as far as the bottled water is concerned. They are the only people where the 400 was slapped on them, and all other people reduced. Even for sachet, for that matter, I will speak for the bottled water. They were asking for 400, and you slap the 400 on bottled water. The only group Why? What have they done? And what have sachet people also done? Sachet is meant for the common man on the street, the average person on the street, school children.
So, as it stands now, you've increased by 50%, although you have been slapped with over almost 200% for the sachet water and 400% for bottled water. But you have just increased what we are buying on the streets in terms of the sachet by just some 50%. There is also a threat that there is a possibility of a further increase. What should the PURC do for which, if they don't, we are likely to see another increase?
Well, for now, we want to give them the benefit of the doubt. We want to believe that it was an oversight. We want to be very charitable to them. That it was an oversight. Because I believe that the average person will not forgive PURC that they have increased these rates over and above, higher than those who are producing liquor. So we give them the benefit of the doubt. We expect that they will come and correct things. In fact, right now, even with the 67.2%, labor is, up in arms with PURC, and they are negotiating. The negotiation they are doing is about the 67.2%. I don't think labor is even aware that we have been slapped with this and that they are talking on our behalf. So if they didn't invite us, fine. But then what we can do is to let the public know that this is what has been done to the ordinary person on the street. I want the media houses to go to PURC and find out from them what went into this decision. Even though they have given us some indicators. For example, they have said that one of the things that they consider consumer interest. The interest of the consumer. I don't know where now the consumer's interests have been taken care of. I don't know. Investor interest. Maybe they thought that investors have come with their money and therefore they must help them, recoup their. But we are also investors. In fact, if you look at our industry, almost all, I wouldn't even use almost, we are all Ghanaians. This is a cottage industry meant for Ghanaians. In fact, the law says that foreigners cannot even come in. So if PURC will look at the interests of foreigners, as against, we want investors, but the investors must not come and do business and get more profit than the indigenous person who is working. Right now, what has happened is PURC is helping our industry to collapse, so that the investors will rather have more to take home.
These other factors, okay.
Economic development of the country, the generation mix, fuel mix, availability of the service, growth in demand, power purchase cost, they call it IPP, revenue requirement to ensure financial viability of the utility service providers, CD dollar exchange rate. All the CD dollar exchange rate affects us. About two years ago, let me use myself as an example. I went to a company to buy a brand new truck for distribution of my products. It was $26,000. Incidentally, last 2 weeks I went there. The price has not changed. The same 26,000. But the exchange rate at that time, I couldn't pay all. I paid 40% down, and then spread the rest, and I paid it in 10 months. But there was an interest rate of about 30-something% that was put on it. The price shot up to about 56,000 Ghana cedis that I had to pay. About 2 weeks ago when I went, it is in excess of 100,000. The same 26,000. If I'm to pay the same 40%. So if I need a truck to distribute my trucks, it has gone up more than twice. How do I make up the difference?
Help us, and in concluding this interview, help us understand the cost of production. Before we grab that sachet water on the street to drink, walk us through the chain of production, how much cost goes into it.
Well, if I knew this question, I would have brought the breakdown of, that may even vary a little from factory to factory, depending on where you are. Because if somebody is getting his rubber, the rubber for production from Accra, where it is produced, it will certainly not be the same as somebody who is taking it to Bolga. Because of the cost, transportation, implication. But you see, people use either a borehole or they use Ghana Water Company. For those who are along the coast, most of them cannot use the borehole because of the salt content of the water. Even in the hinterlands, I know cases in the Brownford region where everybody thought that you sink a borehole and you are likely to get very good, soft, water. But you sink, depending on the rock nature, some have got salt, a lot of salt in it. They must still go and use the Ghana Water Company. If you are in the north, I don't know which borehole. If you are in the north, chances are you have to use Ghana Water Company, Bolga and the rest. So quite a number of them are using this. So first and foremost, you get your water source and you tap into it, if it's Ghana Water Company, whatever, into your factory. It comes into your factory and it has to go through, for example, we take dirt off, we take the scent. If there's any scent, we take it off. If there's any bacteria, we take it off, So we deal with all these.
Purification process.
Yes, the purification process. You have to go through, and then in the purification process, you are using reverse osmosis. You are using ceramic candles. Some are using a device called MP12. Some are, and then use carbon to take away the scent. You use UV light to take away the bacteria, and also you have to go through, use cartridges to take away the dirt and all those things. So it goes through all these systems before and then it comes into your machine, the packaging machine, which has also more than double the price. It has more than double. Right now, if you want one between 7,000 and 8,000 thereabout, it's getting to 10,000. Something that used to be about 3,500 thereabout. So it comes through this machine, and then the machine packages it, and then you have people who are sitting down, and then it falls into a bowl, and then putting it into the what we call bagging rubber, the bag, and then somebody also has to load it onto a pallet, and before the truck comes, and then it's loaded onto a truck, and somebody goes to sell it. So it's a laborious system, and it is capital intensive. People think that sachet water production is such a mean thing that if you have anything.
Looking at the rate, at the speed with which lots of people went into it, it looked like it's a quick rich scheme business. That people but we are just about wrapping up, just about a minute to go. What is the time limit you are giving the PURC for which, if they do not react, we are likely to see a further increment? What time frame are you giving them?
Well, the point is that PRC has treated, in fact, we should have been having some dialogue with them. They have treated us with contempt. Right. We want them to know that they have treated sachet and bottled water producers with a lot of contempt. And so we expect that we have thrown it out there. We are waiting for a few more weeks. If we don't hear from them, we may...
Well, a few more weeks is like what, 2, 3, maybe 1?
Well, I wouldn't, it has to be a decision taken by the National Executive. You see, we have not taken that decision. But from where I sit, maybe a few more weeks, 2-3 weeks thereabout, if we don't hear from them and the rates, by about tomorrow thereabout, we will hear if there are any changes in the rates. If it's not favorable to us, you will hear from us. And one of the ways by which they will hear from us is that they will see that the rates will go up again. Because we cannot suffocate. Our businesses are dying. Right now, all of us have developed hunchbacks. And it shouldn't be the case.
All right. We want to say thank you. I mean, this is a serious matter, but we'll keep an eye on it and see how it unfolds. And we hope that you're able to dialogue with the PURC to resolve this quickly. Yes.
Yes. I have want you to do an assignment for us, or the media houses. Go to PURC. We want to find out exactly what happened, which made the utility rates for sachet and bottled water go over above alcohol. Okay. We want an answer from them. Actually, they are watching. I think the common man needs an answer. Absolutely. They are watching this show right now. I know Nanaya, Jantoa, Aziz, and the co at the PURC, Dr. Sapong. We know you are watching. We need answers to some of these questions. We'll be knocking at your doors to help us with answers. But we want to say a big thank you to Kwame Ejapong Intra. He is the Public Relations Officer of the Association of Sachet and Packaged Water producers in Ghana. And well, effective 1st February, you know that sachet water prices have gone up, and also there is a likelihood it could go further if the PURC does not meet them to come to an agreement or review or revise the current percentages that have been slapped on sachet and bottled water.